Hello guys, and welcome to What If Naruto Had Pennywise Powers. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Tell me what you thought of it. Tell me how did you think I went about this kind of idea, as it wasn't even done before. But I'm here to give you this because it's so close to Halloween. So why not give you something scary? So, let's get into it. So what if Naruto had the powers of Pennywise? And this is a little treat before Halloween. So before we start, I want to give you detail on what Naruto's powers and abilities are. So Naruto has one of the strongest, scariest Kekkei Genkai in the ninja world, passed down from his father, whose name was Flash Fear. Due to his immense power and skill, you see, the Kekkei Genkai was known to give certain Namikazes immense power, immense chakra, and some strong, powerful skills such as telepath, which the user can detect emotions, memories, and the individual of an individual. Though apparently not the thoughts, at least from those who possesses enough courage or will. This ability is also to exploit fears, but it's also to give that user the ability to read minds and also implant thoughts into minds. Yeah, that's scary. Mind control and possession. The Namikazes can control the minds and actions of a person or several people simultaneously. This is something that Minato ranks high in and far outclassing the Yamanakas. Shape-shifting, and you already know what that means. Basically, it's the transformation jutsu, but to a better extent, meaning that the person doesn't have to weave hand signs just to cast this jutsu. All he has to do is just turn into what he sees and wants to turn into. That's what he'll turn into. Illusions. They can also create illusions to install fear to a greater level, which means the illusions must be realistic enough to do so. And the illusions created can be physical for any given amount of time. Some of it may also be physical matter, such as seeing something that only that specific person can see, such as the people closest to them could be seen killing themselves, or the illusion could give off a smell of something delicious or the smell of a rotting corpse. And these illusions can sometimes be mistaken for hallucinations. They can also telepathically implant in the minds of their targets using fear with the elaborate and apparently reality-bending visions. Invisibility. This gives them the ability to turn themselves invisible. And this gave the name, the clan was given the name Silent Assassins due to that invisible nature. Telekinesis. They can move inanimate objects, fall, float, you name it. They can move any inanimate object and make it fall, flow. This includes locking doors, bending space-time, and gravity. Telekinesis. That's telekinesis for you. Then they got teleportation. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about mostly. So, teleportation. Minato was the only one shown using this skill, and he's become so good at it that he combined the flying Raijin and this teleportation ability of his, but that's just scratching the surface of what he can do. Now that he got those two together, it's basically like Minato is just simultaneously just jumping from place to place to place to place. Yes, fast. So, without any further delay, let's get into the story. So, Minato was known as Flash Fear. With his skill sets, he was labeled as something beyond a prodigy, being given the rank Jonin at the age of 12. He completed missions with ease. People throughout the land of fire would shiver at the sight of him. Some ninja who were scum and didn't deserve to live, he would use a jutsu that he called insanity projection. And this kind of power would put a person's fears right in before their eyes and making Minato look like something of their worst, like something just right out of their nightmares. Minato's body would just start to morph, just change shape, and it's all there. That's all they're seeing. They're screaming, they're yelling, they're pounding their fists into the ground, they're scratching their head, pulling their hair out. Their hair, like their eyes roll to the back of their head and just spit just come out their mouth, and they fall on the ground unconscious. And that's his ability. His bloodlust was so high that the person would go insane or drop dead from shock. So throughout the years, Minato has settled down with Kushina, and Kushina is a red-headed Uzumaki. and just a hot-headed temperament, just the same as she was in the original canon. And unfortunately, well, Naruto was born, and unfortunately the same events played out as normal, with Naruto being captured by Obito, and Kushina, well, the masked man telling him to hand over the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. But this scene would play out to a small extent. Minato knows exactly what to do in this moment, and he wants to try something. So he uses his power of insanity projection and fear manipulation, and he combines it together, basically exploiting Obito's worst nightmares in front of his eyes, making Obito freeze in place. He was so scared. It was like he was staring at death itself. This sent a huge spine-numbing shiver down his spine. And Obito couldn't breathe. He couldn't, let alone speak. Minato was fast and grabbed Kushina and Naruto and disappeared out of there, and putting them in a safe place. When Minato teleported back, he removed Obito's mask to, well, the masked man's mask. That's a mouthful. And to his shock, it was Obito. And Minato just said release, and the fear manipulation or fear projection stopped. Obito looked at his master, and this is where Minato would say, Obito, what is your problem? Why are you attacking the village? I thought you were dead. And this is where Obito would say, Sensei, I just got one question for you. Why did you let Rin die? Oh, that's what you were all mad about? So you went down this dark path. Did you even think to come back to the village? Did you even think to come back to clarify she was dead? And Obito would yell out, I seen it with my own eyes. I seen Kakashi plunge his hand through her heart. And she fell dead. I felt her corpse in my hands. I felt her lifeless body in my hands. So you can't tell me that what I seen wasn't real. And Minato would look at Obito, and he said, of course, it wasn't real. It was just an illusion to fool the ninja that was there. Kakashi and Rin went along with it. And then when Obito opened his eyes, he's saying, Kakashi and Rin have joined the Yambo. They should be back at any given month or time. But as far as seeing you like this, I can say that you haven't done any real damage, so there's no need to imprison you or kill you. But you should know what my powers are and the things that I can do, Obito. You have to know what I'm capable of and the skill traits that I have in my arsenal. And this will make Obito question everything that he's seen, basically being confused. But then all this would hit Obito's head and he would pass out because this guy just went through an insanity, like a whole level of fear. And right now he's not in his right state of mind. He's still shivering and he's still scared. So he passes out unconscious. And Minato said, maybe I went too far with that. I hope I haven't damaged my student. He laughs and carries Obito away. Now, as far as the much of the bloodshed and everything else goes, it's going to be told in Naruto's storyline, as you see that Minato and Kushina are still alive. And now, Obito really doesn't have a reason to be evil anymore. He really doesn't. As far as how this story is going to glow, if you do not like bloodshed, if you do not like horrific, bone-ripping, body-twisting things, then you need not to watch this series. You need to block this series from ever giving you notifications, because my series, Tales from the Graveyard, is going to scare the hell and living shit out of you. Remember, happy Halloween. And the like goal for this video is 20 likes for part 2. You'll float too.
You'll float too.